Was Amado Bello an average politician?
No, he was so revered. Amado Bello, I mean, he has this kind of mystique around him. It's like Amado Bello was like today's Oba of Benin. Today's Oba of Benin is like a demigod to Benin people. That was how Amado Bello was to an average northerner then and now. He was so much revered. He was such an intellect. The guy was very deep. Amado Bello was a very, very deep politician. And it's unfortunate that he lost his life, during that coup. And that's why you discover that an average northerner will make reference to Amado Bello than Tafawa Balewa and other northerners who were killed in that coup. Because Amado Bello was like was like the center point of the intellectualism in the north in terms of political reality, in terms of leadership.
He was also like a spiritual leader.
Yes. So it was a different plane entirely.
He embodied Islam.
Yes.
He also embodied governance.
Governance in the north.
And that was the man Kaduna Nzeogwu went for.
Yes.
And he went for him brutally.
Precisely.
He didn't even blink.
Yes.
He fired the shots.
I know when you are in that scenario, I remember I was reading an interview many years after the Oka's coup. I think it was Shola Osunkeye who interviewed Oka's wife or widow, and was asking her, what was the situation days before that? In fact, it was just normal thing. The normal thing. So until the day of the coup and disappeared and had his name on the radio. And once you are there, you are a different person entirely. And I think I listened to this guy who was on your program.
Yeah.
Who was conscripted at the last minute.
Yeah.
To the Oka school, and how things came out. So, and at that point in time, you are no longer normal. So when you're talking about Cardinal Nzeogwu, how he killed Sadana, at that point in time, they are no longer normal human beings. Because it's either you are, like I made reference to in my book, IBB was, he saw an army officer reading a book on coups.
Yeah.
And he went to go and meet him and say, well, by all means, read this chapter. The chapter that if you succeed, yes, the consequence of failure. So that consequence of failure makes, people, an average soldier to be on a suicide mission that, look, if I don't get this in there. So they are not normal at that point in time. That's why they can be very brutal at that level. Because I recall that the Oka school was the one that we witnessed. Because I witnessed that one. And because it was when it was being quelled. Because I had Ojo cantonment and the signal in my two were hot beds during that coup. So we were dodging bullets as we were reporting and witnessing what was happening and reporting. So
at that time, you were reporting for which of the newspaper?
Vanguard.
Good.
So we are watching and reporting just to get live on the spot what was happening. So and at that point, an average soldier is not a normal person.
But would it have exercised restraint? Because he also took down the wife of the Saudana.
Yes.
Would it have exercised restraint?
I'm telling you that at that point in time, they are not normal human beings. That's the reality. They are not normal human beings. In fact, what of Ademulegu? Ademulegu was killed in the presence of her 3-year-old daughter,
6-year-old daughter.
Sholakbe.
Yeah, Sholakbe Ademulegu.
In her presence. And I'm sure that one will remain for the rest of her life in her psyche.
Yeah.
So such a person, in the first place, Ademolegun, there was no reason why you had to kill him in the presence of the children, as small as the children were. But as I said, these guys at that point in time, they were not normal human beings. It's like you are at the war front, and anybody the other side is your enemy.
Nzeogwu carried out his task well.
Yes.
He did a clean job according to those who will analyze his work.
Yes.
He secured the North to some extent.
Yes.
The guys in Lagos did not do a thorough job.
Major Ifejuna was the one that messed up Lagos. So, and he was the one that was supposed to have taken away certain people, but he didn't tidy up his own end. And that's how that's why Ironsi was able to quickly rally around and quell the revolt.
You were supposed to have taken out Ironsi.
Yes.
And I learned that the captain that was detailed to gun him down spotted him and saluted instead of shooting. Just
like what happened in the case of the Oka school. I read the interview of Azuka. Azuka, a Nigerian journalist who is based in US. He interviewed the captain, what's his name now? There's one captain who was part of the Oka school. He was the one in charge of the armored tank in Jordan Barracks. So he was conscripted, I think, a few days before that the day of that action, and he had removed the pins of the armored tanks. So, and Azuka asked him that, because he said that he saw IBB and that he could have taken IBB off, and that Azuka asked him, why didn't you finish off IBB? He said no, he said he wanted to capture him alive. So, and so that kind of situation, and that maybe by that split second, should I kill this person or should I try and capture him? But as I said, their mind, when you look at the account of Colonel Unyam, who was the one who led the Jordan Barracks in the Oka school, that same day, he was with UK Bello to play draft.
Buhari, Babangida's ADC.
He was very close by Babangida. He was close to the UK Bello. They were classmates. And they were playing draft. And he was using that one to find out if CNC will be sleeping over there. Sometimes they go out. And so when he was going to get confirmation that CNC was going to sleep overnight, so then he just said, we'll continue this game later. Let me go and get something to eat. And that's how. And it was his own soldiers that actually killed UK Bello, his classmate. So when you are in that level, you are no longer normal. At that point of operation, you are no longer the human life, because it's the matter of self-preservation. If I don't kill, they kill me.
Yeah. The case of May Malari is quite saddening.
Yes.
He had lost his first wife and got married to a second wife and was celebrating that marriage.
Yes.
And some of the coupies were even there having fun.
A day before.
And they struck.
Yeah, they struck.
Nothing could change their mind.
At all.
They were on a mission.
Exactly.
But they did not execute the coup in the eastern region.
I quite frankly, I'm sure that is why some historians are alluding to the fact that it was an Eastern officers' coup, which is not
an Igbo coup.
Yes, which is not, because Ademoyega is Yoruba. It was part of the five majors, so it's not an Igbo coup. I think it's just a mere coincidence. Why maybe East wasn't strategic in terms of their planning, perhaps. Because even when you look at other coups that had happened, it's only Lagos, before the seat of power moved to Abuja, Lagos has always been the center of action. Once you take on Dodan Barracks and the key installations in Lagos, and that's it. So Southeast had never been a center of action in almost all the coups.
Well, how come Ibadan became a center of gravity in that coup?
Well, maybe because of the political crisis in Southwest, which was a major, because the Southwest was boiling point, and the Awo Akitola feud had totally gone to a major conflagration, and which was a major reasons which precipitated the coup. So there's no doubt that since Awo was in prison and Akitola, a key actor, was in Ibadan, so he had to be taken out.
So can we say that Nzeogwu and friends wanted to take out the troublemakers
I believe
of
so.
the time?
Yeah, to balance the equation. That's why Akitola in the southwest, Sadana in the north, then Okotie-Eboh, the Minister of Finance, because a major peg of the coup was because of corruption and the rest of it, and of course they saw they couldn't spare the person who was in charge of the finances, Okotie-Eboh.
Awo had been sent to prison. From what we know now, do you think they wanted to keep Awolowo cool in prison and capture the Western region? The Fulani leadership capturing the Western region by aligning with Akintola?
I believe so.
Awolowo was a pain
Yes.
in their neck.
Precisely.
So they wanted to take him out.
Yes.
And they took him to prison.
Precisely.
And the military boys were watching.
Yes. And of course, an account said that the plan that if Nzeogwu had succeeded, that they would have released Awo from prison. That's another account, that if they had succeeded, which of course Gowon eventually did, but an account said that they wanted to release Awo from prison.
Can't we question that account? Because if you look at what happened in African states where the same military coup took place, the officers took charge as commander-in-chief.
Don't forget there was a coup that was being planned by Colonel Umar to install Abiola after June 12. Because Umar was angry with Babangida, even though he was Babangida boy, but he was angry over the annulment, and it was planned. It's in the book. All the account of how he and others planned the coup until Abacha was part of it, not knowing that Abacha just wanted to use them, and Abacha now double-crossed them to plan the coup against Shoneko. So, but Umar said that they wanted to take over the government and hand over to Abiola, who won the election.
But from reality, does it happen?
It depends. It depends on how altruistic a particular coup is. I believe because of the position that Umar had taken on June 12, he wasn't interested in political appointment. So it was possible, but it's possible. Maybe it was being idealistic. But not all of them perhaps didn't share his idealistic position, including Abacha.
You see, after the coup failed, after the January coup failed,
yes,
the military had the opportunity to continue with our democracy.
Yes.
Because by this time, no one had known what happened to Tafawa Balewa.
Yes.
And there was a nomination of Dr. Chirima to be the acting prime minister. Even in your book here, Akinjide narrated that story.
Yes.
And he made the point that Agiri Ronsi forced them to hand over to the military.
Yes.
That is a true scenario.
Yes.
They had the opportunity to accelerate democracy continue.
Yes. But at that point in time, the country was in a major turmoil, and they felt that, well, we had to step in now. We can't trust these civilians any longer. So they had to force the cabinet to hand over to them.
Let's look at some of the names that suffered in that coup. Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, the Prime Minister, was killed.
Yeah.
Festus Okotebo, Minister of Finance, was killed. Have you read this book by Richard Akinola? We are looking at page 14 now. Official casualties. When you say official casualties, is there an unofficial casualty?
Of course. And that was one that was accounted for. But there are other ones.
Amado Bello was taken out. Brigadier Sam Ademulegun, they felt he was hobnobbing with the politicians. They felt he was too close to Amado Bello.
Yes.
So they felt he was guilty.
Yes.
Brigadier Zakaria Malari, Colonel R.A. Shudende, Lieutenant Colonel Chinyelu Unegbe. An Igbo man was killed in that coup.
Yes.
And that is Unegbe.
Yeah.
Yet some still say it's an Igbo coup.
It wasn't an Igbo coup at all. It wasn't.
Colonel Kol Muhammad was killed in that coup. Also taken out was Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Pam. There was Major Samuel Adogoke taken out, and Brigadier Pam was also killed. These were top military officers.
Yes.